gaveling. I'm just kind of informally gaveling today. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here a little bit early this morning. I want to particularly thank my colleagues for their accommodation. This morning we have a pre-gavel presentation and proclamation to encourage all Portlanders to observe and join in the observance of Cesar Chavez Community Service Day in Portland. Today we have with us Marvin Pena from the VAS Worker Education Project and my senior policy advisor, Andrea Valderrama, to present. We'll follow their presentation with remarks from the council, and we'll read a proclamation which we have in honor of this important day. And if people would like, we have an opportunity for a photo before we gavel in for today's meeting. So thank you everyone for being here, and I'll turn it over to Marvin and Andrea. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, President. Thank you for having me here.
Just push the button.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. So, well, I will start all over again. Thank you for having me here, and it's an honor to be here presenting and talking about VOS and Cesar Chavez. I wanted to connect like Cesar Chavez work with VOS work, and basically one of the main reasons that we advocate for workers and immigrant workers is what Cesar Chavez did. It was dignifying human beings. It's all about the fair wages, fair treatment, and basically that's what he believed in. And that's all the work he did, and the nonviolent protests were all about dignifying people. And basically, that's the reason why we existed as an organization. VOS is a nonprofit who advocates for immigrant workers and workers' rights in general, as Cesar Chavez did at his time. And what we try to do is connect these workers with employers, most of them homeowners, and but also make sure that they get paid and they get paid fairly according to the job they do. Because sadly, a lot of them, they don't get paid. They are taken advantage of, and that's something really sad to us. And as an organization, we advocate for them, and we try to intercede in these situations to make it right and make sure that they get the treatment they deserve. And not just that, but also we try to empower day laborers the same way, again, that Cesar Chavez did, is empowering these day laborers, and teaching them skills, leadership skills, and also training in like manual labor skills like carpentry and things like that. So it's all about giving them the power to decide what they wanted to do. And we try to, with the help of the community, try to empower them that way. That way they can keep moving forward in their life. So that's something that I wanted to point out, and especially observing this date of Cesar Chavez is something that comes to, to the top of the community and the city, that, we have all this population of migrant workers everywhere, and we need to acknowledge that they are there, and we need to acknowledge that they deserve to be treated fairly and with decency and dignity. So that's what we're striving here for, and try to accomplish that. One of the reasons we're here is to get the community involved as much as possible, and let them know that there is a way, and we are a unique organization in Portland and probably in Oregon that advocates for all this population underserved and mistreated in many ways. So if you have any questions, comments, please let me know, but I'm really happy to be here and have this opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Is wage theft still a big issue in the Portland metropolitan area?
It is. Actually, just like 2 days ago, we had a couple of workers who did a job for 3 days straight, and the person who hired them didn't pay. And we're talking about $500 or something like that, which might not be like a lot, but it's a lot to them. And they just count on every dollar to live day by day. Some of them living in shelters and things like that. So this is a big issue, and fortunately we partnered with OLC, Oregon Law Center, to have a wage theft clinic, and going there regularly to discuss this case and try to recover these wages, because sadly, that's something that happens often.
And what is the remedy for workers who have not received their appropriate pay?
Right now, we don't have any other solution other than interest for them and try to recover that from the employer. So what we do, and now partnering with OLC, is try to create systems in place that we can recover that and just prosecute this person who didn't pay it. But right now, we don't have like a emergency fund and anything like that to pay them and then we get the money back. We have none of that. So sadly, they just stay without the pay for 3 days to, I don't know, a week or more, depending on the case.
I'm just curious, doesn't Oregon law require, like BOLI, to investigate cases of wage theft?
That's the appropriate agency. I'm not sure what the requirement is.
Yes.
I believe so, Commissioner, yes.
That from legal counsel.
So legal counsel says that BOLI, state law says that they're the organization that is supposed to investigate wage theft. So if you're not getting assistance with the state elected leader that is
Sure.
supposed to protect wages, then you should come and talk to my office, and I'm sure we'd be happy to do what we could
I'm
to
sure,
assist
yeah.
you.
Thank you for that. I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
Definitely, yeah.
Commissioner Fritz.
And if somebody watching on television wants to support the work that you're doing at VOS, how would they get in touch with you to donate?
Basically, you can go to our website. There is a donation link, and you can donate as much as or as little as you want. And also, you can become what we call a VOSista, which is a recurrent donor. And even $5 every month, it makes a huge difference for us because we live off donations, and we don't get like any commission or fee for the work they do. The money that they earn, that goes straight to them. So we just facilitate and in some way advocate and protect their rights the best way we can with the capacity we have. So
And is that voz.com?
it will be Portland, voz.org, O-R-G. So yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and members of Council. Thanks so much for having me here today. My name is Andrea Valderrama. I'm a Senior Policy Advisor in the Mayor's Office and Vice Chair on the David Douglas School Board. And I brought my boss here with me since she's on spring break this week. This is Rosalia. I'm a first-generation Peruvian American. My family came to the States after Sendero Luminoso's attempted violent coup in Peru. And when they arrived in the States, they were day laborers. My mom worked odd hours at a hospital, and so I went to clean houses with my aunt and my grandparents. So whenever I had spring break or in-service days, I didn't spend them at camps or a friend's house. I spent them cleaning houses and commercial buildings in San Francisco. We lived in Oakland at the time. I've been working here in this building for almost 6 years, and I still remember my very first day in City Hall. I remember the nerves, the excitement, and what I remember most was how much my new office reminded me of the ones that I used to clean in San Francisco. Except no longer was I cleaning the cubicles and the desks, I was working in them in a different way. It took years for the imposter syndrome to dissipate. Years of policy change, coalition building, resource allocation to Outer East Portland initiatives, to VOS Workers' Rights Education Project. And it didn't help that I was one of the few people of color and Peruvians in the building. I don't think there are probably any other Peruvians here right now, but that's okay, I'm used to it. One of few women, one of a few who live in Outer East Portland, past 205. When we cleaned the offices, I remembered that we'd have to work as quickly as possible so that we would avoid engagement with the other people who were there. And today, instead of my daughter watching me work quietly so as not to be seen, she gets to see me testifying in front of you, making slow but steady institutional change, and she gets to feel like this city hall, this building, represents her because there are people here who look and talk like her in leadership. And that's the power of workers' rights advocacy. That's the power of economic justice. And today we celebrate the achievements of Cesar Chavez and the agricultural worker movement. But I would be completely remiss if I did not pay tribute to one of the most inspiring women in my life and a key leader in this work, Dolores Huerta. The movement would be nothing without her, and we cannot and must not forget her or other women of color who were at the forefront of this fight. If it were up to me, I would change the name to include her name in the title, because that's how much she has meant to me in my life. Si se puede, the term coined by Dolores Huerta, has been everything from a powerful rally cry to a personal mantra to me. It's what I told myself when I first walked into this building, si se puede. It's what I told myself as the first person of color appointed to the David Douglas School Board. And it's what I told myself when I was the only person of color to graduate from my master's program. Dolores Huerta paved the way for women like me to believe, yes, it can be done. So the celebration of this proclamation is so exciting today to mark this day, Cesar Chavez Day, and the work and the movement that went into advocacy for workers' rights for communities like mine. And I'm looking forward to continuing to see the next step, the policy and the programmatic changes that come after it. Policies like prevention of wage theft, pay equity, driver's licenses for all, like we're seeing at the state, licencias para todos, are the next step. And I'm really excited to continue those conversations with you all, and looking forward to seeing other Latinx community members and ULA participate in this really exciting opportunity. So thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you, Andrea, and we're proud to have you work in our office and be an important contributor to what goes on here at City Hall. And we love watching your daughter grow.
And colleagues, let's all remember when we're honoring people to think about who all we need to honor in our proclamations. I appreciate you reminding us. I remember we had Oliver Lent Day and Oliver Lent's son's day. And since there was a son, I was pretty sure there was a Mrs. Lent at some point. Or at least the mother of...
That was presumptuous of you.
the mother of young Lent. So we need to be remembering that too often the women who have been involved have not been honored. So thank you for bringing that up.
That's true. Thank you, colleagues. Any further comments before I read the proclamation? Commissioner Hardesty? No? Very good. All right. So as is tradition here at Portland City Council, we have a proclamation that I have the honor as mayor to read on behalf of the entire City Council, and it is an embodiment of our shared values and resolve. Whereas Oregon has one of the largest farm worker populations in the nation, and whereas Oregon's agribusiness employs up to 86,389 year-round seasonal and migrant farm workers who are key partners for the safety, security, and sustainability of agriculture. And whereas Oregon's farm workers' labor contributes more than $4 billion annually to the state's economy. And whereas Cesar Chavez's dedication to nonviolent organization for just wages, safe labor conditions, and dignity for the women, men, and children who toil in the fields moved him to lead a struggle that included advocacy, public fasting, boycotts, labor strikes, and other peaceful actions. And whereas the life and service of Cesar Chavez inspires us all, on and off the farm, young and old, all who seek progress and justice by peaceful means. And whereas in the current economic times we face, the need for a safe, secure, and just food system is more important than ever before. Now, therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, Mayor of the City of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2019 to be Cesar E. Chavez Community Service Day in Portland and encourage all residents to observe this day. Thank you.
Mayor,
Commissioner Hardesty?
Thank you, Mayor. I was remiss in not thanking a group of folks who helped us to make this happen today, and if it would be
Please.
okay if
Yeah,
I
please,
did
of
that.
course.
I want to take a moment to thank Rena Lopez, who's the ED of Paccoon, for her work in helping us with the proclamation. I want to thank Matt McNally from my office, who stepped up to help make this program happen. And of course, Andrea from your office, who also was instrumental in making this happen. And thank you for coming out and just recognizing that we still have a lot of work to do, but we're moving forward.
A lot of work to do. Could
Thank
we,
you.
Andrea, could we, and Marvin, could we